Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
Episode 46 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to get your gear at gritclothingco.com for your official. That's right, your official TCSF podcast t-shirt.
Ooh.
Big shout out to the people that already bought their t-shirts and sent me pictures.
Yeah.
We posted you guys up there. Thank you so much. All right, so search for keyword True Chicago when purchasing your t-shirt, and then use TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Go get your shirts now.
Go get them.
That's right. As always, I'm Big-Z here with my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, E-Roc. What up, E?
What's good, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. If you're a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us those 5 stars that you know we deserve. Give us your review on your listening app of choice, and don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans/support. Z, let me tell you a little bit about our friends over at ACSI. With over 50 expert technicians in the Chicagoland area, ACSI offers a one-stop shop for telecom wiring, whether residential cable installation, fiber to the home, or commercial structured cable wiring. Z, let me tell you the most impressive thing about ACSI. During these hard times, the ACSI crew did their thing during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year award. The best part is that ACSI is growing bigger and better than ever. ACSI is now hiring for field sales, technicians, and project managers. Check out acsi.tech. That's acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today.
Go get yourself a job.
Go do it. This week, for your listening pleasure, we're going to catch up with Nicholi Wozniak a year after our first episode. This is the first ever guest we ever had. We played the original episode, or the original interview, for you guys last week, and this week we play our interview that we had with him catching up.
We got a little emotional, bro.
We did. It was a very good episode. You guys don't want to miss that one. This is a really, really good one.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's going on, man? How's your week been?
Week's been pretty chill. I mean, wrapping up the school year. I think we got about 5, 7, 8 days left of work.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my daughter's last day was Friday this week. So
yeah, she's lucky. Yeah, a lot of teachers are counting those days down. I know I am. And then it's summer vacation. 2 months off, baby. That's right. Well earned.
Hey, two months off of school, but that just means we're going to go harder.
That just means I have more work to do on the podcast.
Right.
And the company.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, but that's the best part of it, man. Like, that's having the time and the want to grind and keep it going, man. That's the best part, when you get that time to do it, man.
That's exactly what's going to go on. Hey, y'all know all those people that I've been supporting for years and years, your restaurants and those baby showers and all those things that I used to go to. Guess what? It's time to get that reciprocated.
It's payback time, baby.
That's right. Well, how was your week?
It was good. A little bit of softball, you know.
A little bit, dude.
Bit of softball. Look,
you sleep softball, eat softball.
I know. It is a lot. It's a lot. It's like every day there's either a game or practice. We got 2 games, Monday and Tuesday. So I mean, we're just jam packed, and there's just a lot of stuff going on in my house in general. So hey, but you know, I'd rather be busy than
broke.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like it's better to be up and doing stuff instead of the alternative.
That's right.
But this week we're going to talk about a few different topics. We're specifically going to talk about the next 4 games in that Bears schedule.
Yes, let's break it down, baby.
We're going to talk about a couple of things that went down on the White Sox
Maybe we'll get to it. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see how we feel.
We're going to talk about how valuable Chris Bryant really is to this team, and talk a little bit about the Nationals current national players returning to the Cubs.
I'll take KB off your hands.
Oh,
we need him.
I know you.
We
will.
need him.
But before we get to all that, let's talk about our national news. This is the Big Three with Big Z. These are 3 national stories that we think deserve the spotlight.
All right. Topic number 1. And this is going to go to Mike Logic. And yes, we always going to roast Mike. At least once an episode, we roast Mike Logic for something that his boy does. LeBron James, because now he's Latin. Now he's dancing salsa.
Right.
He shot a video dancing salsa, and it was for like a tequila, right?
Yeah. So this is a twofold story here, because essentially what it came out that before their play-in game against the Warriors, LeBron James violated the COVID protocols that they had in place for NBA.
Right. Can't leave the bubble.
Right. And he went to this party to promote a tequila brand. I think it's his tequila brand.
I don't follow him like that.
Here's the thing. Unless he sends us some, I don't care. That's
I
what
don't
we
get
drink
either.
it, right?
I mean, people were saying that he had pretty good moves, but I'm like, y'all ain't Latin to be judging Latin moves. Your hips be lying. Topic number 2.
Yeah.
Canelo was so confident that he would beat Billy Joe Sanders. I just hate that name, Billy Joe Sanders. He sounds like he lives in a. Never mind.
What, are you going to say a trailer?
Yeah, well, you said it.
Yeah.
I was going to say a community park.
Cletus, you are the most wonderful husband and son I ever had.
I'm just going to say this. I see Billy Joe Sanders, and I feel like that's a dude who would be racist against a guy named Canelo Alvarez. Like, there's a pure hatred there.
Billy Joe, his name sounds like the hillbilly in The Simpsons.
Hey, what's going on this side?
Yeah, so he was so confident he's going to beat Billy Joe Sanders without a scratch that he booked his wedding the week after.
Is that
that's a trolling?
Is that confident or cocky as hell?
That's both, and I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's one of those things where, like, I feel like Canelo gets really disrespected.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and I don't get it, because I mean he's going out there and whoever you put in front of him, he's
fighting every 3 months.
He never shies away from a fight. So
no.
what's going on here?
He's like, I'll fight whoever you put in front of me. Let's do it. I'm jumping up weight classes to take their belts.
Right. So where's all this hate come from? I don't understand. This right here could be part of it, though. This could be part of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right. Topic number 3. Kevin Pillar from the Mets got hit dead in the nose and the face. Did you see this?
I saw the after effects where his face looked like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, that's exactly what he looked like. So two things. One, the guy's he's a baller. He came back the next day and he's like, can I be in the lineup? He's like, I can play. I can see out of one eye.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, we need to. And then the second thing, does MLB need to go to the softball helmet with the grill?
No, man.
I'm just bringing stuff up to talk about.
How often does how
often does that happen? I mean, we just seen your Mercedes get hit in the back of the ear.
Yeah, but he's still wearing a helmet. That cage ain't gonna do nothing for that. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I would say most of the time, number one, you know the risk that you take. You know that the risk you take when you get up there in the batter's box, and you know what's
100-mile-an-hour pitch can kill somebody in the face.
100%. You know what's funny is that it just came across my timeline or something like that. It was talking about the only person to ever get killed by a baseball at bat. It was Ray something. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird because it was something about like the pitcher was like really a spotty pass, and like, did they do that on purpose? We're also talking about the old time.
Yeah, the old time baseball rules. We'll get to those a little bit later. Now, the one thing I did see was, and this is softball. This girl, the girl pitches and the girl batting swings, and it was inside, and the ball caromed upwards, but she was facing down, so the ball went into the softball helmet cage, and it got stuck on her face.
Yeah. And it didn't hit her face.
Can you imagine like, oh my God, I almost got my stuff busted? That's incredible.
That's a close call.
That is a very close call.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about our beloved Chicago Bears. This is 3 and Out. So, E, what's going on with the Bears?
So let me tell you what's going on first.
Uh-huh.
The odds came out from Vegas.
Oh, boy. Can we make some money this year?
I don't know. I think we can make some money if we bet against the Bears. I think it's very interesting to see where the Vegas odd makers see the Bears this year. Right now, they're an underdog in 14 of 17 games.
Ouch.
The only 3 games that they're predicting that they will win, essentially, with the spread, is on this September 19th game against the Bengals at home. They're favored by 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, that's what I had.
October 3rd versus the Lions at home,
Obviously.
5.5.
Yeah, that should be a blowout game, actually.
Well, yeah, but they're not favored in the other Lions game.
On
And then-
Thanksgiving, really?
On Jan 2, home against the Giants, they're favored by 2 against the Giants.
I that's going to be a tough game because the Giants are looking for payback, and then Saquon is looking like, hey.
They still have Daniel Jones. And the thing is, too, we don't know. Those odds are going to change game by game.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
very super early odds.
Yeah, you don't know.
But, you know, come on, man. Like,
No respect.
I mean, that's the story of my life. No respect.
it feels like it. I think, like I said, I think a big part of this is dependent on the fact that we don't know when Justin Fields is actually going to take the field, if it's going to be this season at all. If
Right.
it's going to be a feeling out period for the whole year. Because, again, Andy Dalton's a new quarterback, too. So I think this prediction or these lines are set by what we know now that Andy Dalton is expected to start.
There's a lot of unknowns. I mean, we just finished rookie camp. We're
Right.
starting mini camp, and then you got regular camp. There's a lot of things that can happen from here to then.
Well, and I think the other thing, too, is that, I'm seeing memes
Oh,
pop up on some of these Bears
You don't
Facebook pages
say.
and things like that. Talk about, people are super hyped about Justin Fields, but
Yes.
they're ignoring the rest of the draft class. And I'm like, we're not, because, we're looking at these offensive linemen
Yes.
that they drafted. Tevin Jenkins is supposed to be a beast, and where they got him versus where he was expected to be drafted.
Right.
He was we had talked about before the draft. There were draft analysts who thought that he would have been there at 20 for the Bears.
right.
He went 39.
Something like that, yeah.
So I mean, you stole Justin Fields, who was supposed to be the number 3 overall pick like the year before.
Thank you, sir.
You stole Tevin Jenkins, who was supposed to be your number 20 pick, and you got him at 39.
Thank you, sir.
You got Daz Newsome. You got a lot of players.
Yeah, we did.
And if you're really paying attention to what's going on this year, we're not underestimating
No,
the
no.
factor that these rookies really are going to have. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Whatever happens with Justin Fields is going to be,
It's a cherry on the Sunday
well, no.
because all these people that are coming in, all these rookies, especially the offensive line, that's what we need to solidify. We agreed on that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now we got a bunch of burner wide receivers.
Yes.
And now you got
That's going to help. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
That should help your line.
Yes.
That should help your running game.
Yes.
That should help your brand new quarterback.
Yep.
And your other brand new quarterback.
Yep.
So this is a off season that is so unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen, but this move right here, trading or trading up to get Justin Fields, this is going to tell you what's going to happen for the next 15 years with the Chicago Bears.
Well, hopefully.
And I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, but I'm telling you right now, this is what's going to happen with Matt Nagy's job. This is Ryan Pace. If you hit on Justin Fields, all of a sudden now you can have Matt Nagy stay around as the head coach of the Bears for 10, 15 years.
Slow roll. Pump your brakes.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Look at Tomlin.
And I knew you were going to go
Mike
with that.
Tomlin.
I knew you were going to go with that because he never
Because-
had a losing season.
He never had. It's not just that he never had a losing season. He had a strong quarterback who he could take into the playoffs every year. Even if they only kind of squeaked into the playoffs, they still went to the playoffs, and that's still a playoff berth.
Ben, no matter what, you put Ben in the playoffs. That's a scary thought.
And that's what I'm saying is that
Just don't let him travel to Chicago. And
all you need to do is hit a couple of times.
Yeah.
And like I said, you look at at Pace's draft history. A lot of people like to pick out the bad things.
There's more hits than misses.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you buy a record, you're not gonna like every song.
Right. Not normally.
When you get those records and you're like, wow, from start to finish, every song was a banger. Those are special, right?
Those are rare.
Right. Those are ones you still listen to 20, 30 years from now.
Right.
But you pick up a random record, of let's say one of your favorite artists. They don't have bangers all the way through.
No. And that's the thing, is that if you consider the fact that this is Ryan Pace's first GM job, and he's been here, I think 7 years now, 7 years. This is his first job, and he brought Khalil Mack to the Bears. He drafted Trubisky.
That's not his fault. I mean, that's not Trubisky's fault that he got drafted that high. We've always said that.
But what I'm saying is that
he took a shot.
You took
He's a gambler.
Shot. It didn't work that time, right?
Yeah.
So now you took your shot again, and he brought in Eddie Jackson, and he brought in Allen Robinson, and he brought in Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith, and all these players that are cogs in what we expect to do. Darnell Mooney looks like a really good pick.
Speaking of Darnell Mooney, he's been roasting some guy that plays for the Rams.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey.
That's right. So Darnell Mooney, and it's funny because you brought this up and I remembered. I have a horrible memory. On his, Wikipedia page, Darnell Mooney says he has a child and his name is Jalen Ramsey.
So a lot, you know that it wasn't him that did that. That was a fan generated thing. Jalen Ramsey did come out because, like we said, the Bears are going to play the Rams in LA for the first game of the season. I think it's a Sunday night game.
Yep.
But yeah, he said something like, I can't wait to go out there and shut this kid down so the Bears fans could shut the hell up.
But you know what's going to happen is because that's their best defender, right? So that leaves our number one wide receiver wide open.
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead. Talk all the smack. Go ahead.
Right. So, look, let's take a further look. Now that we're talking about, some of these odds, let's take a further look at this upcoming Bears schedule.
Yeah.
Right now, Z, we looked at last week. You had a prediction of 2-2 going into Game 5 with wins over the Lions and Bengals and a loss against Matt Stafford and the Rams, and then also the second loss of the season coming against the Brownies for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at Games 5 through, 9 or 8. So on Sunday, October 10th, the Bears are going
to Vegas,
baby. 3:05 start in Vegas. This was that
extra game.
This is the 17th game that they kind of wedged in the schedule there. So, I mean, what do we think about this?
That's an L. That's an L.
Based on what?
They don't play well against damn Raiders, man. They don't.
I know the last time we played the Raiders a couple years ago, it was kind of a crap factory.
Yeah,
crap.
Even when they played them in London, they got crapped down too, and that was a horrible Raider team.
It's a different. Yeah, it's a horrible different. This is a different team. And you're still talking about Derek Carr. You're not. Who are the world beaters on there? I mean, we have Khalil Mack from him.
Yeah,
they don't have him no more.
Well, yeah, I mean, they picked up one of those draft picks from us, and those turned out to be pretty good players for them.
I feel. Yeah. Yes. I feel like the Bears and Vegas are probably at the same level.
Yeah.
I think being at home gives the Raiders the advantage here.
Yeah, that stadium looks amazing.
It does.
Just don't go to the nightclub in the end zone, because if Andy Dalton throws one out there, you're gonna get clocked in the head. So you think that's a win?
No, I mean, like I said, what gives me the advantage one way or the other, what the swing
home.
is, it's being at home.
Yeah.
If you're the same team essentially, as far as I think talent level, you're probably on the same par with the two teams, and being at home gives Oakland, Vegas the advantage here.
All right, so week number 6.
Oh boy,
yeah, those that team from up north, Acme.
Those who shall not be mentioned.
No, yeah, not at all. Well, the big factor is that we don't know if Aaron is going to be playing.
Yeah, we do. He's going to play. There's no way he's not playing. There's no way. Let me tell the fake report from that guy.
Oh, yeah. That was a good Twitter handle, yeah.
Barry's fake Twitter, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way that he's not going to be on the Packers, because that report was saying, he retired. He's not retiring. His ego is way too big to retire.
Agreed. I actually think that's a win for the Bears because they're at home.
At home. Yeah, I mean, look, anytime we can predict that the Bears going to beat the Packers, I'm on board. I'm like Ditka. No matter what.
Yeah.
If you play the Packers, I don't care if literally like a three-legged dog is the only player out there. I'm taking the Bears.
Agreed. All right, moving on. We're going to be going to Tampa to go visit your dad's favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Just for reference, my pops lives in the Tampa area now, and he refuses. He's from Jamaica, and for some reason, he likes NFL football. Whatever caught his eye, maybe the '85 Bears. He goes to Tampa, and he used to watch all the Bucs games. And then once he heard they got Tom Brady, he goes, "I'm not watching those stinking Bucs."
So he's taking a little hiatus for a couple of years until Tom Brady, moves on.
That's right.
All right. So is that a win or a loss?
At Tampa against the champs.
Yeah,
I don't like
that's
it.
That's a big L.
Like
That's a big L
I
too.
don't like it.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady's gonna take that personal that we whooped him
Well, we beat him last year
because he forgot to play.
He was so old and confused.
Yeah.
He was like, 4? What is 4?
Can I get another down?
What's wrong with
Mulligan?
Yeah.
All right, and then the last game we're talking about today is going to be against San Francisco. Who's the quarterback out there? Jimmy G? Or is it going to be the rookie?
Supposedly. That's
so they're kind of in the same limbo with us.
Exactly. So Jimmy G or Trey Lance.
Yeah.
My buddy Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Look, again, I think it's another toss-up game. I think that's us being at home. That would give us the advantage. I feel like,
agreed.
Again, talent-wise, the Bears and the Niners are probably on the same level. Both teams opted to draft really young quarterbacks. San Fran had the number 3 overall pick, so it had to be a reason they were there. Jimmy G's been injured, so I feel like we're going to see Trey Lance earlier in San Francisco than we will see Justin Fields over Andy Dalton, again, barring injury. I just feel like Jimmy G is so injured, and unless he goes out there, starts the season, and then does have an issue, and then tries to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, because he was that guy. He was the young and up-and-coming guy a couple of years ago.
And that didn't pan out. So that's a win. That's a Bears win.
Yeah, I mean, I like it as a win. Them coming here, I do.
So they're 4-4.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, that's a 500 season right there.
Hey.
So that's a non.
So we all get to keep our jobs.
That's a non-losing season. So now, last thing I want to mention about the Bears today, we just talked about the possibility of Justin Fields over Andy Dalton at some point in the season, or Trey Lance over Jimmy G at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Collinsworth came out on his podcast, and he said that I would play Justin Fields. He's a guy I would throw in right away. What do you think?
I'm not a big fan of him.
Who, Collinsworth?
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason,
I'm not talking about that.
it was like
here's the thing.
We don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields. I mean, if he beats out everyone out in minicamp or whatever training camp, then put him in there. Right. If he's head over shoulders above everybody and knows the plays and knows where to position people and makes the right throws, makes the right calls, let's run it.
I think that's the only way that they can start him right away.
If not, let him watch
because he's still a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the game's a lot faster in the NFL than it is in college.
Correct. And he's already been through a few transitions in his life. He's had the spotlight on him since he was probably 14 years old.
Right.
I don't think that it's something where he'll crumble under pressure. But I still think that he has a couple of things to kind of learn. And I also think that sitting on the bench will humble him a bit. But again, unless he comes out on absolute fire.
Right.
Fire.
He doesn't have the chip on his shoulder. Remember, he has that chip right now. So, like you said, it's got to be a perfect storm for him to come out and be week 1 quarterback.
Right. And funny enough is I feel like a lot of this is going to be predicated on what happens between the preseason game when we play the Bills.
Yep. Trubisky.
Mitch versus Justin Fields. So I mean, that's what I mean. Like as petty,
is that a home game?
I don't remember it. I don't.
If it is, we got to go to that one.
Yeah.
You can wear your Trubisky jersey.
What? I'll bring. No, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'll bring my Trubisky bobble or pop. That's the only thing I have at Trubisky is the little the Funko Pop.
Better put a firecracker and pop his head off, man. He's no good. That's no good here.
Hey, I don't discriminate. I got a Ben Wallace. I got a Ben Wallace spawn figure.
That's cool though. It looks really cool though.
No, so here, you know what's funny about that is that Mike Logic was like, you need to get that out of here. Hey, Wallace just made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did.
He did. You know what? There was something else that I think we mixed up the classes last week. So the 2020 and the 2021 NBA draft classes.
Yeah.
Basically went at the same time because of COVID.
They just finished it and then they announced the new ones, and that's why we got it confused.
I think we flipped it a little bit.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you really want to get into basketball, go check out Mike Logic and Ideal on their podcast.
That's right.
They will really break it down.
Yeah, they break all that stuff down. All right, we'll be right back with three up and three down. that confused me, all these threes. After a quick word from our sponsor.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
What's up, Chicago? This is Enrique Calderon coming at you. Wanted to congratulate my boy Jose Big-Z Zalzo and his homie E-Roc from True Chicago Sports Fans podcast on their 1-year anniversary. They have a party coming up on June 13th at District in Wicker Park from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. So if you're in the area, come check them out. Talk sports, have a drink. Let's celebrate 1-year anniversary, True Chicago Sports Fan podcast. Y te lo dice Enrique Calderon.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Mike Logic of the All Net Podcast. You are listening to E-Roc and Big-Z on the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Listen, y'all, you're not going to find a better Chicago, all-encompassing sports podcast. So keep checking in with these guys. Listen to All Net Podcast with myself and Ideal. You can go to anchor.fm/All Net Podcast to find it. Peace.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
Time to touch bases with our baseball teams. This is 3 up and 3 down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yo, E, what's going on with these Cubbies, man? Where'd they come from? These ain't your dad's Cubbies.
my dad's Cubbies were terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Except for 1 year in '84 and the rest. Anyway, last week the Cubs welcomed back some familiar faces to Wrigley Field. Former Cubs Jon Lester and Kyle Schwarber, both now with the Nats, came to Wrigley Field for the first time this season. Lester was presented with a W flag and a pair of Wrigley Field seats, all covered in signatures and messages from all the Cubs. All throughout the organization, the players. I'm sure the bat boy got his pen in there. So I mean, like they did it up for my boy Lester. They played the country music in the background because that's what he likes. And both him and Schwarber got standing ovations. Schwarber also hit a home run in his return to Wrigley.
Maybe it had something to do with KB left in the field for him.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty funny. We're talking about this candy that sat out there. I can't understand how it didn't melt. It was a Twix, a Snickers. KB playing left field where he knew Schwarber would be. He left a little bit of candy, a little bit of snacks out there. So I thought that was pretty funny because, it's the whole organization showing love for these former players. I think, even though they're not contractually a part of the Chicago Cubs, we know that as long as they're out there, they are Chicago Cubs, just like Dexter Fowler. There's a couple of guys out there. So I mean, look, they're still getting love from the organization. They're getting love from the players that they played with for so long, and I just love to see them still kind of finding a way to stay teammates, even though they're not on the same team anymore.
No, this is awesome. I mean, same thing with the White Sox. We kind of show our players love that leave and come back. That's because they're ingrained in us,
right?
Like if you hustled and you show that you're gonna go all out for the Chicago teams, doesn't matter what Chicago team you're on,
right?
We're gonna love you.
What that reminds me of is, we didn't talk about it in the Bears segment, but it reminds me of the way that we still think about the '85 Bears.
Oh yeah,
and everything that's going on with Mongo right now.
Oh yeah.
All the former players showing up and showing love, and I seen Butthead out there, and Jimmy Mack and Ditka and
Ric Flair showed up.
Ric Flair, because
they were friends from wrestling.
WWE, you know what I mean? So that's what it kind of reminds me of, and I feel like the shame of it is that we see so much more potential at the time for this team to win a couple of championships. That's what we expected,
right?
And I think the fear is and was that 2016 is going to be that
Bears
team that we think about in the same way.
They are the new '85 Bears, and unfortunately, tons of talent, and just couldn't continue getting the ball rolling.
I think the main thing, and people don't think about it that much, was the one cog that Madden kept talking about is that as he goes, we go, and that was Dexter Fowler.
You need a leadoff man.
Since
sets
he was
the table,
there, and we've said it on this show a couple times. If you don't have a table setter, you don't have the team. You're just not starting the game off correctly.
Exactly. And this is happening with my team right now where, TA was going a little slumpy. He was like 0 for 17.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he got a hit today, but again, if you don't set the table, none of us can eat.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Stay out of Cubs business. This is the Cubs segment. I want to hear the White Sox until we get to the White
home
Sox.
Home run. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
We're watching the game.
Let's just stay on the Cubs. The Cubs are over 500.
The Cubs are over 500.
And they're beating the Cardinals.
They're playing the Cardinals. And
guess what? They come see us.
Look, man.
So you're going to be a White Sox fan for the next couple of days.
Hold up. How did we get back to the White Sox? What is happening? White Sox is taking over my life. What is happening right now? I'm trying to talk about the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, man, put a shirt on, dude. Was that a chick? Oh, that is a chick.
Right.
That is
back to the story
New York.
here.
Come on. What is that?
So now that we're back to talking about the Cubs, focus.
I mean, look at that. I can't focus on that.
Chris Bryant.
Yes, sir.
From the Chicago Cubs, currently still
right now. Yeah.
So definitely, we're talking about the Cubs being over 500. He is definitely the big story of the Cubs right now.
He's playing MVP caliber baseball.
And exactly that's the thing, is that what that does is that puts the Cubs in a really, really tough position, because now, especially with this series against the Cardinals,
it's a clear-cut position. You got to go. You have to sign them now.
This series right now is going to if they can somehow, it's early in the season, but get that momentum where you can sit there and be considered, yes, I'm a contender. You were a contender last year because you won the division.
Right.
You keep winning the division. That puts you in the playoffs. So now what do? If you think there isn't a good chance that this year, right now, that you could win the World Series, do you take Chris Bryant, who's been playing his ass off, and do you find a way to move him to another team who has a better chance of winning the World Series, theoretically, and try to bring back players for the future? Or do you go all in with KB, a player who will be 30 going into next season?
Okay, so this is what I would do if I was a Cubs GM. I would do what the Yankees did. When the Cubs called and said, hey, we need a closer. But it's going to take these prospects. Guess what? There's going to be a team that needs an outfielder to make that push. And it could be the White Sox. It could be the Mets. It can be whoever it is. It doesn't matter. But this is going to be the price, because he's hitting so well that you're going to get high-level prospects back. And you tell KB, hey, we're not really in we can make the playoffs, but we're not going to win the championship. We don't feel we have enough. We're going to trade you right now, and what's going to happen is You're going to go and get a playoff push, and at the end of the year, we're going to sign you. We want you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you do. You flip them and to get assets and bring them back.
You should do what other smart teams do.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the player and the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's the thing.
Have your cake and eat it too.
I'm completely if they can find a way
Yeah.
to get that done, I'm 100% on board on it, because here's the thing is that we're finally seeing Bryant healthy, and it's amazing. So what he's able to do this year, according to ESPN stats and information, Chris Bryant is the third former MVP, along with Jackie Robinson and Johnny Bench, to start a game at 5 positions in a single season. That's 5 different positions in a single season. I want to say it's third, first, and probably all the outfield positions.
So he played center. So he played center? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So that's 5 different positions. If he has only 3 more starts at first, he'll be the first former MVP to start at least 5 games in 5 different positions. So I misspoke there. 5 games of 5 different positions in a single season. So that means that he's going to start. He started at all those positions at least once.
Yep.
If he starts 2 more or 3 more games at first, that's 5 different positions that he started 5 different times. Okay, you're talking about a guy who's versatile.
Yeah.
So you got a guy who's finally been able to expand his versatility between only being a third baseman and a left fielder. He's going all over the place now, and he's finally healthy, and he's finally swinging the bat like we know he's capable. So I really, really want the Cubs to find a way to bring back Bryant. He did have something to say about this, and he says, "It doesn't feel like I'm doing it a lot more. I'm just out there being myself, being aggressive on a pitch in the zone. It's nothing consciously or different. Just sometimes you go on runs where you get better pitches to hit on the first pitch and you take advantage." Again, we talked before about the Cubs' relationship with Chris Bryant as they currently stand. What are you saying, that they should sign Chris Bryant?
I'm saying what I said earlier.
Yeah.
You trade him and bring him back next year.
How much are you going to give him?
Oh,
That's the question.
That's the thing. And I know we were disagreeing last week where we talked about and I was saying that the Cubs are shedding salary. So I don't know if they're going to be the ones saying, this is how much we're going to give you. We're going to give you top dollar, or say, take a hometown discount. You can't sign all 3 of those guys and say, I'm shedding salary. And when you gave away a couple guys that you could have got cheaper.
So
you got Jock Peterson.
Yeah, he's been on fire too. He's been
hot and cold.
Yes. Yeah.
Hot and cold.
And that's what it is. He's streaky. You know what I mean?
And we knew that. We knew that. We said this since day one.
Streaky.
Exactly.
Right. So here's the thing. About half of the Cubs roster is going to become free agents in November.
Right.
We're looking at Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo, the marquee names there. When they traded Yu Darvish last year, it kind of told us that Hoyer, thought that this was going to be a just transitional year. But I think of it this way. What if they had Yu Darvish still on this team right now?
If they had Yu Darvish, they're 5 games over 500 right now.
So
they're in first place.
That's where you're even.
And I disagree with that trade. They should have waited till this year.
It's frustrating. I don't know what to do as a Cubs fan. I want them to win, but I want them to be able to
replenish the system.
I want them to be able to have sustained success.
Yes.
And they've been able to do that for the past 5 years. But the problem is that if you're not making the World Series, what is the point of it all? Well, because here's the thing. If you don't consistently have a team that can actually make the World Series, can win a bunch of divisions. It's kind of like the Cardinals do. You know what I mean? The Cardinals, the
Braves.
The Cardinals, the Braves of the 90s.
Yeah.
Is it better to just continually have sustained success and try to every year make the playoffs,
or have that one-off
every 5-6 years? Hey, that same kind of crew that's been together the whole time wins a World Series because they make the playoffs, because then it's just a tournament. It's whoever's better for the next couple months, you know. Or do you want them to tear it down to, you know what I mean? That's the problem, is because that's where we're standing right now as Cubs fans. We don't know what to do.
Right, because your system is kind of depleted. You don't have a lot of guys that are going to be coming up that can contribute within the next 1, 2, 3 years.
Because they gave it all up to be able to try to do that.
Exactly.
When they sit there, go after Quintana.
So now Jed Hoyer has to be like, with that movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Right.
Come up with a 5-year plan, all right? So If you want to work at Hooters, that's fine, but come up with a 5-year plan.
And now Theo's gone and is sitting in his lap.
Exactly.
Theo did all this and made the trades, trying to be aggressive, bringing in Yu Darvish instead of bringing Jake back, and so on and so forth. And you know what I mean?
But you got the chip.
At a point, right? And
so it doesn't matter.
So, but and that's the caveat, because
he left him with an empty bag, with a bag full of holes
Right.
that you can't fill up anymore.
Right. And we've been riding the coattails of that championship for the last 5 years, and they've been making the playoffs.
Welcome to our lives
for the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's just look, this kind of reminds me of right now where we're sitting when Pujols was getting ready to be a free agent and he was being courted by the Cubs, because if you remember the same year that Pujols was a free agent from the Cardinals, Prince Fielder was a free agent from the Brewers that same year. So there was a lot of talk about Pujols coming to the Cubs, Prince Fielder coming to the Cubs, back and forth. But that's what this kind of reminds me of. I feel like KB is, because of the injuries, he hasn't had as much wear and tear as far as like games played.
Not nearly as those guys. No way.
And that's the
He's
thing.
a lot smaller than both of those guys too.
I feel like Brian is gonna have those times where I feel like he's just gonna be a guy who has like great years here and there where they're like really, really good MVP caliber. I do feel like he's injury prone, so unless he can find a way, similarly to the way that Jake Arrieta very early in his career was injured a lot, and he found a way through yoga, meditation, whatever it is, to kind of help his body recover. I don't want KB to be a Pujols where he goes to another team, signs there with his big contract, and just never really contributes the way that you saw when he did with St. Louis.
Right.
Because what eventually happened with Pujols is he got released from the Angels with really no explanation. It was just kind of like early in the season. No one was even really warned about it. So where did he go?
To my other team, the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Doyers.
Yeah, so he's been actually pretty well in this role where he's had 19 at-bats, 5 hits, 5 ribbies, and 1 home run. Not a bad pinch hitter.
So the funny thing is that when he became a free agent, we talked about, is there a possibility of him joining his former manager from St. Louis?
There's no room from here.
That's what happened. So, Z, what's going on in the Sox site?
White Sox, White Sox, go, go, White Sox. Let's go, 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 White Sox. We're with you all the way.
All right. So, let me put my phone down. Let me take a little swig of something here.
Oh, okay. Getting prepared.
I have been waiting all week to talk about this. You have no idea. I look like the cartoons where there was smoke coming out of my ears. My face was beat red. This has been a long week just to get in front of the microphone. The White Sox. This effing team. This effing team. And when I mean this effing team, I'm talking about the manager, LaEmbarrassment.
I'm in danger.
This team is whooping everybody in the Central. They whooped the Royals, then they whooped the Twins, and then back and forth. And then they're playing, again, the Minnesota Twins. And they're whooping their butt. And they have La Tortuga, a position player, pitching. And he throws a couple pitches.
Yep.
And they're outside. And then he throws one, a hanger, just a hanger. And my boy, Yermin Mercedes, Yermin Mercedes takes a Eufus pitch.
What?
It's the Ephus.
What?
Ephus?
What?
It's a weird, it's the Ephus pitch because that thing was only like 47 miles an hour.
Okay. And to that point, do you know how hard it is to
Yes.
take a 47-mile-an-hour pitch, 420 feet?
Yes.
It's super hard.
Absolutely.
All right. He takes this Ephus pitch and puts it into the next zip code.
Yep.
Come on. And people are losing their minds.
I thought it didn't bother me because you put a position player out there and that signals a white flag. We're done.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Let's listen to this.
We don't need a pitch clock for Astudillo. Oh, he loaded up. Mercedes tattoos it to center. It is gone.
There you go.
A 3-0 swing.
So he's rounding the bases, and the pitcher and Mercedes, they know each other.
Right.
They're boys.
Yeah.
So is he a little bit mad? Yeah, because he took him out of the ballpark. But guess what?
I mean, you're playing professional baseball. I think that the thing that a lot of people got upset about is that it was 3-0.
Well, the Twins broadcast got mad about it and got their panties in a bunch.
They did.
They did. They're like, oh, there's no room for that in baseball. Get the out of here.
Hey, if there's room on the scoreboard, there's room for it.
The game is not over. Hey, guess what?
It's not.
If I'm up there, I'm swinging.
Right. The whole point of going up there and being a batter is to hit the ball. See ball, hit ball. That's what they tell you from the time you're 6.
Yeah.
See ball, hit ball. I saw the ball, I hit the ball went out.
My concern as a batter is not the score.
Nope.
And people are like, oh, he's being selfish and this, and that.
How is it selfish to score?
First of all, I'm there to hit the ball. That's what you pay me to do.
Right.
I don't even play the field right now.
And here's the thing is that if you put a position player on the mound, you're basically, like I said, you're waving the white flag. So what does that mean? Would you rather him walk that player on and continue the game on longer, or have him hit it and now you okay, let's go.
Let's go. Finish the inning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand it.
And then LaEmbarrassment. This is what really fucking took me off. Jesus. Yeah. LaEmbarrassment showed up to his media availability on Tuesday, a whole day later, and publicly embarrassed his own player.
Yep.
Even saying he's recorded that he might spank. He would like to spank Mercedes if he wasn't so big and strong. Are you kidding me? Mercedes will murder you, dude. You're 80,000 years old. You were walking around with the dinosaurs. Get out of here.
I don't want to like this, but it's hilarious. Honestly, I mean, I told you before they hired La Russa, I told you who my choice for manager was.
Yeah, but they didn't want that cheater stank on them. But guess what?
But here's the thing.
That would have wore off by now.
Yeah, and look at the stink you have on you now.
Depends. Depends on preparation age.
You know what really, as an outsider, as just a baseball fan, you know what pisses me off? Is that he's the story instead of these players.
Exactly. He's taken away from the player's glory.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
He continued to say your Mercedes made a mistake. There will be a consequence. He has to endure within the family. Dude, you did not own up to your mistake at the beginning of this, when we hired you.
Right.
You put that off. Like, oh, I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Right.
Dude, a DUI is nothing to play for. The man hit a home run. You got a DUI. You should have consequences.
Yes.
It's simple as that.
Yes. There's no
don't DUI. Right. Don't beat your wife. Don't beat kids. Don't beat animals.
Right.
Those are the rules.
I'm with you.
After that, you're okay with my book.
Yeah. I just don't understand. I really hope that Reinsdorf is just taking this in, because like I said before, I don't think that I don't think that your GM wanted this guy. He said it with the
he didn't.
Face. You know what I mean? He was just like,
I guess I got to do it. My boss told me to do it.
Here's the guy, kind of parts of a guy used to be a guy. Now he's just a thing. I don't know, man.
So Yermin talked to the media that same day and talked about the home run. He says, I'm going to play my game. I can't be another person. If I change, everything's going to change.
Yes.
You pay me to hit the ball. You don't pay me to play the field. My job is to hit the ball, and I hit the ball.
100%.
Why am I getting persecuted for this?
Because Tony La Russa is a crusty old turd who needs to be scooped up. Tony, here's the thing about
Tony.
Is
a family guy, old guy?
He's not even like an old turd anymore. He's like the white turds.
the geese? The ones when the geese lay out there? They stay out there forever. They turn white?
No, like in Step Brothers when the turds are just there so long that they turn white and it looks like powdered donut turds.
Man.
That's how old and crusty this guy is. How are you out here just talking down about the dude who is basically saving your team right now because your best 3 hitters were out?
The embarrassment reacted to Yermin saying that. He said, I heard he said something like, I play my game. La Russa said, no, he doesn't. He plays for Major League Baseball. Respect the game, respect his opponents. First of all, he plays for the White Sox. He doesn't play for MLB. We are not in 1923. You're not going to put up our dukes. We're not going to do that. So, you know what? The funny thing is that...
Do some old-timey boxing.
Right, exactly. My guy, who I thought should have been the coach, had something to say about this. Listen up.
What Tony said about respect the sign.
Yeah.
I do respect 100%. I do respect nobody in this planet is more old school than me. Even count Tony La Russa. Okay. By the way, when you bring a catcher, a position player to pitch down, you give in. You give up.
We said that. We said that.
Nobody complained about it. Nobody said anything about it. Everything in this game changed. 1990s, 80s, when I started playing, Jasmine hit a home run. The soon he touched second base, he's on. He didn't make it to home plate.
That's 80s baseball.
I would be aggravated about it. I don't wait to make up this big deal. Just why so have to forget about this big deal? And the Minnesota Twin hit him. I think Lynn should hit somebody. He hit Cruz. Cruz.
Hit Cruz?
Yeah, exactly.
Say, okay, you're going to play with us, we're going to play with you. Why? Because, first of all, you guys give up in the game.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. This is courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Thank you so much. So, yes, Ozzy has a lot. Yes, back in the day, old school baseball, you can't do that.
Right.
This is not
No, it's not.
The tagline for the White Sox, it's called Change the fucking game. So, if I'm changing the game by bat flipping, what difference is it if I hit a 3-0 pitch? It doesn't change the outcome of the game. We were still whooping your ass.
The difference is that the Chicago White Sox keep proving every 7 to 10 days that they hired the wrong manager. Because every 7 to 10 days you hear something about him fighting with the player. Didn't TA just have to make up with him? Didn't he just have to? Oh, he's like the grandpa that we don't listen to. Every show.
That was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. They talked, or day before yesterday. We talked about Friday. All right, so Twins Tyler Duffy threw at Yermin Mercedes the next day, and the pitch was malicious because it went after his knees.
Right.
All right. This is the best offensive player, which is you alluded to,
right?
Because no one else has been showing up.
Right. Well, because again, Eloy is out, Lou Bob is out, and then
all the pressure's on MVP though, so he's not doing so well.
And he got hurt too, and
right.
So
he was out the series for that series, right? So, yeah, if you're going to throw at him, throw at the meaty side, throw at his backside. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. That's baseball. I get that, old school baseball.
Right.
But if you're going to take out someone's head or someone's knees, you're being malicious.
And that's the thing.
Sorry.
That's the thing is that, La Russa said that he didn't have a problem with
How do you not protect your own player? Are you getting paid by Minnesota? What is your problem, dude?
I wonder, is Yermin like sleeping with one of his granddaughters or something like that? Like, what is happening right now? Did he break up with one of his family members? Like, what is going on right now? Why are you going after your own dude?
I don't know, but I think that he does not like Mercedes.
Apparently not. I mean, I don't
How do you
understand.
throw your own player on the bus?
I feel like, was he a guy that like someone says, yeah, you got to keep this guy, and then he went out there and proved him wrong or something?
So he did in the minors, and because he bounced around for a bit, he did have the I'm a party, I'm going to do whatever I want kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And the White Sox did take a flyer at him. But since he's been here, he's been a role model.
Yes.
Like, he's been doing everything they've been asking him to do.
Yes, because he's like, I got my chance at the big show. I'm gonna take advantage of it, and he has been. I mean, how many times we're over here watching the game, and they're like, "But it's always Pat Hughes in the voiceover, and he's like, buy this your main Mercedes bat with he messes up Hispanic names so bad it drives me nuts. But it's the special edition bat with the signature and 8 for 8 and this and that and 7,000 RBI, whatever the hell it was. This dude is bringing more attention because every baseball fan in America was paying attention to, if not every team, 2 teams in particular, the Padres and the White Sox, to see what they were going to do this year. We already knew that the Dodgers won the World Series last year. Everyone's always kind of paying attention to the Yankees because they have so many names. But the 2 major teams that we were trying to, just nationally, what happened with the Padres, what happened with the White Sox. And it's just like he's embarrassing the team every opportunity he gets. Is this his payback for being fired 30 years ago?
Yeah, and then he tanked his job. I mean,
40 years ago?
Lance Lynn commented as well. He said, on the matter, there are no rules when a position player is pitching.
Right.
The more I play the game, the more these unwritten rules have gone away. Yes, because it's called evolution.
Right.
This isn't the old man game anymore. LaEmbarrassment commented on Lynn. Said, Lynch has a locker. I have an office. I don't agree.
So
I don't give a about your office,
bro. Like,
I get paid to play.
I can't. I don't understand why there's so many good players on this team. So many good names. Again, I can't.
Are you trying to alienate yourself from the team?
I just can't. I can't
Or are we gonna have
thinking about what it is that La Russa is going through in his mind, that he's just basically sabotaging his place? How you can't tell me that he hasn't lost this team already this early in his comeback.
He's already lost his 5 to 6 games, and people are like, "Oh, it's only 3." Like, no, watch all the games.
Right?
How many times did he take the pitcher out early or too late? So, Tim Anderson tweeted, of course he did. The game wasn't over. Keep doing you, babe, Big Daddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's all about changing the game. Let's go have fun. The whole thing with same thing. Tatis did the same thing last year, and he got persecuted, and they made him apologize,
which is ridiculous.
This guy's gonna be the face of baseball for the next 10, 15 years, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, apologize for doing your job."
It doesn't make any sense.
We got players in other leagues who've been charged with murder.
Yep. Ray Lewis
still played. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yep. He got more love than Urlacher.
Right.
Because he danced.
Got guys who beat their wives in an elevator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
This is upside down. We're making this big old fuss because this guy did his job. And you got players that don't do their jobs and do other stuff on the side. My boy Bauer commented.
He did.
If you had a 3-run homer off me, I won't consider it a crime.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Here's the thing: a 3-0 homer is a 3-0 homer.
Why do I have to wait for 3-1?
Right, and that's the thing is that they said it's a take pitch. It's a 3-0 if you're up 3-0.
No,
it's a take pitch.
First of all,
that just means that you're going to throw it down the middle. I'm not taking that pitch if it looks good. The whole thing: see ball, hit ball,
and people are like,
it's as easy as you can get.
He missed the call or the signal. Well, first of all, I'm a right-handed hitter. My third baseman is not in my point of view.
Right.
And the manager said, LaEmbarrassment said, "Oh, I was on the top step yelling." I've seen your press conferences. I don't think you can yell, bro. I think you'll fall back if you yell.
That's too much air.
That's too much air. I mean, the kid's probably making me like what, $3,000 a game. Yeah. I mean, let's break that down. He is making more right now than he would an entire year in the minor leagues.
Yep.
So I'm not even getting into numbers. I'm going to skip all over this, but pretty much, let's say his minimum salary right now is $90,000 a year.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean when you're looking at that
would be in the minors, like
consultants of some law firm is
right.
Making
so he made the big league team, and he's making the league minimum, which is $570,000.
Right.
I'm playing for a contract.
Yeah.
If it's not with the White Sox, it might be with someone else.
Considering the fact that he was in the minors for so long and he's finally getting his chance.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And he's going to go through arbitration, which means every number on the offensive side counts towards your paycheck.
Yes. Every time he swings the bat, he can either add or subtract money from his bank account.
We just talked about KB. He's playing MVP caliber baseball. Guess what?
Which is going to make him a ton of money.
Exactly. We were talking about, oh no, he's not worth the $30 million. Now he is.
Right.
Now he is.
When you play 5 positions and play them well, and hit the ball,
very well. So big man, make your money. We'll be right back.
Hello. You play to win the game.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
Today's guest is no stranger to the show. The one that started it all, Nicholi Wozniak's dad, is the second most well-known person in the Last Dance documentary. let me tell you a little something about a man named Jon. Like everyone else, we were sitting around at the start of the pandemic. We're waiting and wanting to watch sports, and ESPN already announced that they would be releasing a 10-part documentary featuring the 1998 Chicago Bulls and their last dance as a team. Little did we know that that would be the linchpin to start the best Chicago sports podcast of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Jon Michael Wozniak is the security guard caught on tape in the locker room playing quarters and beating MJ backstage. And as we all know by now, after he beat MJ, he did the infamous shoulder shrug. So I made a meme and I put it on our Instagram page. And this is what it said. This is the only man who Michael Jordan couldn't beat. Jon Michael Wozniak, the real MVP.
That's true.
So I had just started the Instagram page. We were in the pandemic trying to hey, how can we boost this? Let's do something. So I made the meme. I made the IG. I made the meme. I
started blowing up.
And I get a message and it says, hey man, that's my dad in that thing. So I got all excited. I says, hey, can we get an interview, man? Like, let's talk to you. I want to hear your stories. He agreed. I hit up Big-Z, who we just brought to TCSF. I says, hey man, I don't know if we're going to do a blog. I don't know if we're going to do a podcast, what we're going to do with this, but talk to this guy. Let's record it. And that's what everyone hears on our very first episode. And the rest is history.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you listen to the episode, there's great content. Obviously, the audio quality is not that great because I was literally FaceTiming Nicholi with my iPad, which I'm using right now, and recording the sound with my phone. And let's just say
there was a truck in the back.
There was a truck passing by. You hear a bunch of noise. You can hear the fan. Yeah, so that's right. With no further ado, I'd like to welcome today's guest, Nicholi Wozniak. Welcome back, brother. How have you been?
Doing well. Happy to be here, and I appreciate the story. I didn't know the background and how I could impact. So I genuinely am happy to see you guys doing well.
Yeah, thank you.
Really happy to help. Yep.
Thank you. All right. So it's been 1 year after the debut of The Last Dance. How has your life changed at all, if any? If did it change at all?
I mean, yeah, especially in the beginning, there was just a lot of people reaching out and. I don't know how people got my contact information, but there was just a lot of, and just a lot of people really, I guess, inspired or touched or thought it was fun during a really down season with the pandemic and whatnot. So yeah, just as far as change, it's just it's a nice point of conversation, for work or just breaking the ice with people I meet. It's just something, if they're a basketball fan, they know who my dad was.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good icebreaker. And nothing major. I didn't do any business ventures or anything like that. I was just, given his departure, I was just happy that he, got some
recognition.
Yeah, some recognition. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We went ahead and did it for you. We turned the whole thing into a business. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jon.
Just keep being successful, and being
in the spirit of your dad, who's always been a giving person,
right?
He gave us this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's So when you really think about it, that's exactly what happened.
I'm happy for that. I really am. I really do. There's enough to go around in life, and I really believe that just be happy to see people do well. So I really am happy for you guys. And
thank you.
Success, yeah.
Tearing up a little bit here. I know you said that MJ reached out last year after your dad passed away. Has anyone from the Bulls organization reached out to you personally after the airing of the show? And have you heard from Jordan's sons at all?
Yeah, not really the organization, because I think more so Michael's, deeper into his organization. But no, I mean, I've kept, in touch. With Michael, and then also just, online here and there, Instagram, book with the kids. But, nothing. I mean, it was kind of, it kind of died down, business as usual. And more personally in my life, if I run into people. But I just kind of kept it low key. It was more about my dad. I didn't want to like leverage it. Leverage him in that sense.
Yeah.
So
no, look, I feel like the way that you talk about your dad and the way you think about your dad is very similar to the way that I think about mine.
Right.
My dad came from Jamaica and he came here and he set up shop after a long time. and just to watch the things that he's done in his life. I brag about my dad's accomplishments like it was, I think
like you were there.
Well, I think typically like parents in general, you want to brag about your kids, but I brag about my dad. So I feel like, being in the position that you are, being that all of a sudden your father rose to this this fame and this notoriety, like all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like you kind of get to relive everything all over again, and then experience and just kind of get that emotion of what it was like to be around your dad at that time. So I mean, like I completely relate with that, man.
Yeah, no, again, everyone gets a little snip or a little snapshot, I guess, of that part of his life or that interaction that they had. But that's literally that's just one slide in the entire, film reel of his life and the things he had gone through and the success he had as Chicago police on the narcotics unit, and then as a friend and someone who took his job very seriously. So you just got to see more of a casual, more of a playful moment. But he was, truly accomplished in what he did. And I hope to be as accomplished, in my line of work.
Well, the funny thing is that you talk about your dad being involved, being a police officer.
Right.
One of the things that we actually did is in the meantime, since we last spoke to you, we actually got involved with the CPD Knights, the Chicago Police Department baseball team, and they do a lot of youth programs, and we've been working with them.
Yeah,
quite a bit too.
We've been going to some of their camps. We have another camp coming up later on in the summer. They actually played the Chicago Dogs, which is the minor league team up in Rosemont.
Right.
So we've partnered up with them. A lot of those guys actually we've actually known and didn't know we knew they played baseball.
Right.
Ron Ayala, he's went to high school with us.
Right.
He was on the team, and then a couple other guys that Gigantorg knows. But I had a quick question. Now that we're talking about the CPD, what was that something that you wanted to do? Did you want to become a police officer and follow your father's footsteps?
You know what I did? I had taken the test for CPD and also for Illinois State Police.
Okay.
And then I was, dating my wife now, and she just was begging me not to. She was like, and I was like just right there in the probationary period, and then ended up going another direction in my career. But yeah, because I saw the camaraderie and the friendships he had built,
right?
Saw the respect that he had, and I saw that like he did it right. He was so respectful of everybody, no matter who they were. If they're in the back of the squad car, or if they were, a chief, he treated everybody the same. So like, I knew I could do it right because he did it right, and everyone told me he was a real police and he did things and he respected everybody. So I wanted to do that, but then I also had some other folks who were on the force with him, and then also agreed with my wife, like the different time and the different era. So don't let your dad. And it wasn't like he was forcing me, but he was just telling me it was, something great. And there were pros and cons, but my wife ended up winning that one.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, no lie.
Yeah, the trick is happy wife, though.
That's no lie. No, look. We've had, like I said, we have a relationship with the CPD Knights. I'm personal friends with the head coach of the Chicago Fire Department's Blaze football team. I'm close friends with him. So, I get that, and it's a tricky business to be in, especially in these times, man. It's just, it's a weird climate that we live in. And sometimes you get punished just for having your own opinion when you should be towing the company line the way that they think about it. So, I totally get where other people are coming from in that aspect.
The only thing I'll say to that is it's hard on the guys, even like a guy like my father, who genuinely had a heart and a passion to fulfill the calling of a police officer, really to serve and protect. Seriously, if there's anything I could say, like he told me he saw it as a calling. He thought it was with a good pension, and he was like, the problem is if you go into it as a job or as something that you're just kind of leveraging, you won't be successful. You have to the best to see it as a true, almost as a like I said, as a calling or as a vocation, if that makes sense.
Right.
Oh, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Let's talk about some basketball, man. We were just kind of last week we replayed your initial interview with the show in episode 1. So we we want to contrast that what we're doing now. And one of the things that you mentioned in the first time we talked to you was the fact that, you know, Tony Kukoc should have had a little bit of more love in the documentary. So he was just announced that he's going to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Can you tell us any stories or memories you or your dad have, or maybe stories that your dad might have shared about Tony?
I have a personal story with Tony Kukoc and Luke Longley.
Okay.
So
beautiful.
It was the 95 season, so it was the season Michael wasn't playing, but my dad was still, you know, working at the stadium part-time. And I brought a friend up there with me. My dad was like, yeah, you and a friend come on and I'll get you in. So we would often sit in the, like the players had their own,
their own section.
Right.
Family and friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah. So we sat in the ambulance. So like before, while my dad was working, then he'd get us in before the starting lineup. So on our way in, or like before, when the players were walking in, and we ran into Tony Kukoc and Luke Longley, and I remember how I was like, "Man, Tony, this guy's tall." And I heard a lot about him because he was supposed to be the guy to kind of help out since Michael was gone.
Right.
It was interesting as a European player, and then there was Luke Longley, and my buddy, his name was Joe. Everybody started laughing. They looked at Joe and Luke looked at Luke Longley, and Tony Kukoc made a joke, and he said hi to my dad and he made a joke. He goes, "Hey, that he looks a lot like you," and he did. He a lot like Luke Longley, and everybody started cracking up because, you know, they're like, "Are you sure you don't know each other?" You know, probably like, I don't know, 5th grade, like that age. I thought it was funny that these guys. Here's Tony Kukoc, like the new up and coming like rookie sensation, or so yeah, that was my one story. You know,
that's great.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're talking about the greatest international players of all time. What are your thoughts on Vucevic? We call him Vucci Man here.
Vucci Man.
Nicholi Vucevic.
I mean, you know, to be honest with you, I think the guy that sticks out the most to me, and I know you want to talk about Vucci, but the one that I always looked at as being someone who kind of sets the trend, other than Kukoc, I think he's underrated, and I'm glad he's Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Was Dirk, you know, Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah. Oh, Dirk is one of the all-time great international players of all time.
Here's the thing, though. I think Kukoc was one. Kukoc and I think Vlade Divac
you still had Dejan Petrovic, who passed away too early,
right?
And he was.
Well, what I'm saying is that when you look at that mid '90s time, who were the two guys in the NBA that came over from Europe and really set it on fire? And that's Kukoc and that's Vlade. And Kukoc, because he played with Jordan, because he was on the Bulls, and the Bulls were the hottest ticket in town at the time.
Right.
But what you saw then, if it wasn't for Vlade and it wasn't for Tony, there wouldn't be no Dirk. And Dirk is by far the best Euro player of all time.
Right.
So, but that's what opened up the floodgates for all these Euro players to come over.
Yes, no, I agree. And a lot of these guys are good. I mean, the one thing is they all have skill. You know, like some guys, like, you know, I won't name names, but some guys are just God-given talented and are just a powerhouse, and I don't think should be compared. Why Michael was so great is because he had he kind of developed himself. These guys come over just with the fundamental. They know how to do it all. I mean, seeing a big guy shoot. And that was one thing about Kukoc, is a guy that size. I think he's like 6'7". He was pretty tall. Just the things he's able to do.
Right.
But yeah, even Dirk. And what I love about Dirk is in my LeBron versus Michael arguments, I'm always like, guys, you know, that Heat team lost to Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
You know, and his team wasn't as stacked as LeBron. So I'm like, Michael wouldn't have lost. I don't think Michael would have lost to Dirk like LeBron did. And then they were making fun of him, and everybody forgets about that. And Dirk came, just stepped on him. So like,
when we, you know, because I'm sure just like every other Bulls fan, you've had the debate about Jordan versus LeBron 1,000 times, and you're tired of talking about it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
But I want to say one of the things, like I said, we kind of go back and review some of the older interviews, and the big thing is thinking about the players that LeBron has been able to surround himself with in his career, where Jordan had to kind of accept who was coming to him. And once he realized he had to be a team player, okay, now I have to play with Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant, even though he just ran Grant into the ground, so he decided to leave. And Scottie Pippen and all these players. Now, yes, Scottie Pippen is one of the top 50 players of all time. Horace Grant isn't. Bill
Nope.
Cartwright isn't.
Nope.
Wennington isn't.
Nope.
Kukoc is, could maybe be there, but then he gets pushed out by.
He's probably 51.
Right. And
You know what I'm saying?
so that's the thing is that when like I said, you were the one that mentioned it. When you kind of look at the entire spectrum of the players that Jordan played with versus the players that LeBron has played with, LeBron has played with like probably
All-stars.
some of the top 15 players of all time on every single team.
If you're ever having that argument, it's what I do. You take a screenshot or take a picture of the team, of the lineup, like the '91 Bulls, where there was only and take a picture of that Heat team.
Yeah.
Those Heat teams, and like the worst player is like Mario Chalmers, who's really good. If you look at, then you go from the worst to the best, and you go to like you see, and this is no knock. but you go to like a Bill Wennington, or you go to like a Judd Bushler, or you go to like
That was the name.
Caffey, or
Jason Caffey. Yep.
Jason Caffey. Holy,
Yeah. He was a dunker. He was a dunker guy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he definitely dunked. He had about 17 kids.
Yeah. Dunker. But you know what I mean, though? Like, if you actually go like player by player, and then the fact that Michael was played in an era where he just did not have, and he saw it in the Last Dance, he just didn't have the autonomy to pick and choose.
Right.
He fulfills that narrative. I think the thing is, storytelling is a big thing in culture. And I think Michael fills that hero story of had everything against him, even his own
organization. Yeah.
Still won. He won. He three-peated twice. That's what people don't. And then he was the undisputed leader of the team.
Right.
We're going to argue that first year, maybe Dwayne Wade was kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
So it's like you just. The only argument I have in the barbershop and places like that is if LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland and won 3 in a row and then another 3 in a row, then I'd say, all right.
Right.
Hey, it's the only argument you need. Hey, so we were talking about a little bit about Tony Kukoc going into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
What player that's currently eligible do you think that should be in the Hall that isn't?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't want too much silence here, so you guys give me yours.
I think it's tricky because and it's one of those things because NBA does not have a Hall of Fame.
No.
This is the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Correct.
So I completely get where we can sit here all day and be like, who's actually in? That's the thing is that we know that Hank Aaron's in Cooperstown, but that's the Major League's Hall of Fame, So I think a lot of times when it comes to Basketball Hall of Fame, it gets a little muddled because they're like, hey, why is there an announcer in there?
Well, even with Kukoc getting in, people were posting on our page saying, "Oh, he wasn't that good." I'm like, bro, step back.
What?
Go watch the film when he was in Europe and how many championships he won out there before he came here.
Here's the thing about Kukoc. If you want to know anything about Kukoc, remember this one thing. Michael Jordan didn't like him because he was threatened by him. Michael Jordan treated Tony Kukoc like crap, not only in Olympics, but when he came to the Bulls. And why? Because he's threatened by him. He was threatened by Tony Kukoc and what he could do. And like we were just saying, who was supposed to be the player to step up when Michael Jordan retired?
It was Kukoc.
That's my point.
Yeah. Well, he was a trailblazer, which is why you have this Hall of Fame. How you define Hall of Fame? Hall of Fame is literally fame in the sport. So it's like Kukoc was like a trailblazer, for the European players that were coming over. But one guy I wanted to actually mention is not a European player, but who I think didn't get enough love in a lot of capacities. That I remember my dad telling me, Michael often said, this he's not only a class act, but a great player, and played some of the best defense on Michael was Joe Dumars.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's a guy who kind of goes under the radar. But Michael had actually told my dad, other than respecting the fact, I think he was one of the only people to shake hands with Michael after they had lost.
Yeah.
I think he's the only. Michael said to my dad, Joe can play, and caused him, annoyed him. I don't know the guys who are ineligible who aren't in, but I know that other than Reggie Miller as well, who just had long arms and was annoying. I know
he's annoying regardless.
Yeah. Reggie's a good announcer. He knows the game of basketball.
Yeah, but as a player, I hated him.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah, annoying as a player from what I've heard.
Right.
Right. And the thing about Reggie Miller is that he not only perfected being annoying, he perfected the fact that he knew that in the Jordan era, you have to be able to play, and you have to get under his skin.
And you have to be able to talk smack.
And that's what he did.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
He was probably one of the biggest smack talkers besides Gary Payton.
Right. So, look, check it out. I am a gigantic SNL fan. Anyone that knows me in my personal life knows that I'm just a ridiculous SNL fan. I got the books. I got the board game.
Yeah, you do.
So I watch every week. Now, last week, SNL had Keegan-Michael Key, who most people know from Key and Peele.
Right.
Not
Aaron.
Not Peele.
Yeah, Aaron.
The
that
substitute
guy.
teacher.
Yeah, substitute teacher. I love that skit.
So Keegan-Michael Key came on. I'm sure it was a lifelong dream of his because of what he does.
Right.
And they did a parody about The Last Dance, kind of coinciding with the year, like we did.
Yeah.
And specifically, they did in their parody about The Last Dance, they did a scene about the quarter game with your dad and MJ. And your dad was basically the butt of the joke. It was kind of the whole thing was like, Michael Jordan loves to gamble and he'll take everything from you.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see this? And if so, what was your reaction?
Yeah, so I got a text and I probably saw half of it.
Okay.
Then I went back and got a link, from some friends to look at the whole thing. So I was able to look at the entire thing. And my initial response at first was like, okay, he's still like. First, I thought this is still a thing. That's what I told my friend. Then I was watching it, and I was kind of like, all right, they took it in a direction that was kind of like, just almost. The only word I could think of is just silly more than.
Yeah, it was silly.
Yeah, but it was, they're trying to, they took somebody that, they didn't know much about and then tried to, bring in the audience that had liked The Last Dance and kind of make, poke fun at all of it and then speak to Michael's competitive. So.
What I'll say is that, like I said, as a super freak fan of SNL and like sketch comedy and comedy in general, like I said, I think for Keegan-Michael Key, this was like the dream. And he even said in the beginning, I'm going to do all the SNL things. He did a musical monologue to start the show. He sang another song in the show. He had the Muppets on during the episode. So I think my guess is that this specific sketch or skit or however the SNL nerds want to phrase it.
Well, you're the nerd, so whatever you want to phrase it as.
But I don't care. SNL people will lose their minds over this. But I see the comedy of it. I think the comedy is that Michael Jordan was such a compulsive gambler and such a competitive person that he's going to take everything from you. I'll tell you my initial reaction, just because we have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh, that kind of, ugh. And so that's why I'm like, looking at it, and I also look at it the perspective, I get what the joke was. The joke was like, Michael Jordan will do whatever he can to embarrass the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, man, I don't know. Should we even bring this up? Because to me, like, my first reaction was cringe, and then I was like, yeah, I get the joke.
I know it because you sent it to me in the morning. I'm like, oh, no way. I'm like, this can't be real. When he sent it to me, and I'm like, there's no way. This is going to coincide with us reaching out to our first guest.
We had no idea.
Yeah, so give us your reaction.
Yeah, so no, my initial reaction is, almost like, at first I'm like, well, my dad's not here, almost like and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, you just shake it off. I know my dad was in life. Things would come his way. Being a police officer, having real adversity, not people poking fun or saying stuff. Having real adversity in life, when you've been through a lot, you kind of shrug your shoulders at it and brush it off, and people move on.
I don't think it was a slight to your dad. I don't think that was the intention.
Yeah, no, and I'm not, like I didn't even take it that way, because I did have some people reach out like, oh, trying to be funny, not trying to feel me out, almost like, oh, I didn't think it was funny, and I say it's no big deal, or other people like, oh, look, your dad, that. So there was like mixed reaction to it. My reaction was, my legitimate final reaction to it was, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, the truth of it was, if they wanted to make it real funny, they could have made it where my dad kept beating, or the person who played my dad kept beating him.
Yeah.
Because my dad beat Michael in that. That was what made it such a. So the whole Last Dance was all about how Michael was so dominant. Then all of a sudden, here's this kind of just this police officer kind of with funny hair and two belts.
Like I said,
I agree. It would have been funnier if it would have flipped around.
The real MVP, like I said, the only man who could beat MJ.
Yeah.
And hey, that's how I leave it.
All right, we want to take the opportunity to thank you. You have no idea. You don't have no idea how much it means to us that the first interview, inaugural interview, helped launch the show. It gave us motivation to start something new, something both that we've wanted to do for such a long time.
Right.
We turned something. We started our own media company. And we're here now. We have our own media company. We're working on different things, different avenues, and it's just all because I was able to interview you. So we're getting to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So shout out to you. Shout out to your dad. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us again. And good luck to everything that you're doing and you're going to do. Thank you so much for coming back and talking with us again.
Hey, once again, it's my pleasure. I'm happy you guys are growing and just keep going. My dad used to tell me, make your mark. Make your mark and take your spot. And if you guys call me for a third one, I'm here in Nashville. If you call me for a third one, I'm not going to ask for anything other than maybe like some Portillo's beef or something.
No. If we're doing a third one, we're going to drive out there. I got the mobile studio now.
Yeah.
We'll drive there, and I will bring you some Portillo's beef.
Yeah.
And whatever else you want. You want some tortillas from up here, too? Because I know they don't got tortillas over there.
I'll tell you, the only thing I really miss about Chicago, is every day is just the food selection. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
No.
Barbecue and whatnot, but they do not yet have the options that.
No, you're not gonna get the Chicago hot dog, the gyros, the Italian beef.
Hold on.
It's gyro. It's gyro.
Gyros. Okay. Hey, I know too many guys named Gus who'll be real mad at you right now for mispronouncing gyros.
Hey, it depends on what part of the city is.
They're still named Gus.
No, I'm talking about the gyro or gyro. It depends where you're at in the city. They call it different things. I mean, talk about the food selection here. We have a segment, usually at the end of the show where we talk about food, and we usually disagree, but we've been agreeing for about a month.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. So we just propose a question about what food, this and that. So
I mean, look, honestly, I just want to say this. So I've been with TCSF since I want to say 2014. I was one of the people that it was one guy running the page, and he was just putting up memes and stories. He brought me in because he was like, "Hey, you're doing something funny on your own page. Can you help me run this?" So for a couple of years, it literally just sat there as we're going along. I watched my boy Suazo, who I've known for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his own page putting up sports stuff. I says, hey, man, I'm doing this thing. Bring it along. We grew it from 1,200 people to like almost 8,000 at this point. It's been just years of just grinding and work. And I know we keep harping on it, but, just you reaching out when you saw that meme of your dad, it was just cool that you you didn't be like, oh, that's my dad. You're like, hey, man, that's I'm proud that was my dad.
Yeah.
You reaching out to us, we had literally just started the Instagram page maybe a month before. So just to have everything kind of come full circle. And this is the thing that I'll say too, when we're talking about the SNL a little bit, your dad being on SNL, that's full circle because it's not just recognized for like the cool thing he did in a show. It was like,
how popular are they? You're a parody now.
Right. And it was a year later. They still remember, like, man, that dude was cool. All right, let's include him. Let's do a whole thing based on that. So, I mean, everything has kind of come full circle. And look, man, you just been super cool giving us your time and just really being a big part of the show without even realizing. I don't know if you know that, but it's been really cool to catch up with you. And my first time to be able to talk with you because, I wasn't on the first episode the way it started out. So it's just really cool for you to be able to take your time and come out and talk to us, man.
Congratulations, guys! I'm happy to do it. Awesome, guys.
Oh my God, this has been like literally, it's been full circle.
Yeah,
and it's just serendipity because I didn't watch SNL last night until you sent me the thing, and I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, "Holy crap!" I'm like, he might want to not talk to us now.
No, I literally asked the question. I was like, "Did they know?" I mean, I was just
no,
like, wow.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if I would have known, I would have been on SNL.
Yeah, right. No, I'd be there. I'd be like, I need you to sign this, and also other things that I've collected from your show.
And the thing is, like, I've done. There's a place up on up like a north side of the city.
Oh, you talking about Second City?
It's around. It's a little bit north of that. It's called Sports. Yeah, they do sketch comedy, but it's sports related. So I've gone there on a couple dates, and I've sat in front, and I've always get picked to get on stage. So it's like, whose idea is it anyway? And I've always get picked, and they're like, "Oh, you're pretty quick on your feet." I'm like, "Yeah, I grew up. I grew up in the hood. You got to have a quick wit to get your comeback on.
Are you talking smack? All right, I got to be on it.
Right, you got to be on it. So they're always giving me free tickets to come back, and I'm like, this is like crazy. I used to do that stuff, and then they put his dad up on there, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, just
next time wear a shirt with like your site or something, or a hashtag or something, promote yourself next time you go. So they,
most definitely.
No, trust me, we're putting our name on everything.
Yeah. So we definitely got to send you some gear. I'll text you, message you as far as like. Get the address, and then I'll mail some gear out there for you and your family, whatever you need.
I thought pressure. Whenever you get a chance, no pressure. I do appreciate it. It's cool to see that you guys just didn't take it and let it fall to the wayside, but you're growing. So that's inspirational to me too, man. It really is.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. You'll always be part of our family.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that whole thing. I really know my dad. Let me tell you one more story. He goes, so I gave him his first set of grandkids, and kind of as a gift for the second kid, he bought a couch for us from IKEA. And we had a couch already, but he bought a new one. And my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, him and his wife asked if, they could buy our couch. So I was telling my dad, thank you, Dad. I said, yeah, I'm going to sell my couch to my brother-in-law. And he's like, he got pissed. I saw his face. I was like, what's up? He's like, you just got blessed with a couch from me.
Yep.
Why would you? I didn't even. I was just like, So, and they insisted. Like, no. I said no. I said, take it. We got. That was him. So like to see you guys are doing this, like.
So listen, man. Personally, like I'm a big believer in serendipity, karma, all this stuff. I mean,
positive energy.
And this is what I'll say to you. All the things that your dad brought to you when you think about the way that you think about life. Okay, you're about the same age as we are. The way that you think about life and the way that you think about the way that your dad influenced you over the years and what that means to you. When we say this, I want you to know that you had a big influence over us, and you were the linchpin that, like I said, kickstarted us. So know that over the last year, you have been a huge influence just by one simple action that you did in appreciating something that someone was recognizing for your father. So without knowing that you have that in you and that you were inspiration to us.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're both sitting here. I got a couple tears in my eyes thinking about it. So I appreciate you, man.
I can't even talk.
It's just cool. It really is. I'm really happy, really proud of you guys.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon, man.
Be in touch, man.
Oh, we will.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our boy, Nicholi Wozniak. All right. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsor.
We all know that 2020 was no joke. And with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacias 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
It's that time again, brother.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
It's time for Stirring the Pot. So, as usual, these food topics come with a story, come with inspiration throughout the week.
That's right.
And on Friday, I ordered myself a classic that you are very familiar with.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm in the mood for pizza.
Okay.
And I went and I called John's Pizza on Western.
Oh, man.
I did.
That was my joint. Everyone else was eating father and son. And
Oh, no.
I was with John's, man.
John's, baby.
And I think
not Congress.
No,
not father and son. Give me John's.
John's Pizza.
Yes.
And the funny thing is that joint still looks exactly the same.
Oh yeah, it's a time warp. You go step inside there. It's a time warp.
It's the whole the wood, everything.
Yes.
Wood
panel,
and
wood chairs. Yeah.
I want to say even the kids' placemats are still the same. The same
from 1975.
The same puzzles and word searches that I used to do back then are still on there. So I bet you I do better now.
I was gonna say don't struggle now. Yeah. So I ordered a sausage and jalapeno pizza.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got a large one and I demolished half of it. Sorry, I was hungry. All right, so what do you put on your pizza from John's Pizza?
I think.
Are you doing sausage? Are you doing pepperoni? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I think what I would do, I grew up on, it's gonna be the sausage.
All right.
Green pepper.
All right, I'm with you so far.
Mushroom.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
That's it right there. That's it. That's the trifecta.
I can't do the mushrooms.
You're not doing mushrooms?
I can't do the mushrooms.
What
slimy ass stuff on there.
Come on. It's cooked. It ain't slimy.
Nah.
What about sausage or pepperoni for you?
Sausage all day, baby.
Sausage
all day, baby.
Well, it's a sausage party.
It's a sausage party. It's a good thing I didn't grow up in Wisconsin. Hey, you know what's funny? I took my brother a couple years ago. Well, it's been a while, but I took him for his birthday, and we went to Brewers Angels game.
Okay,
I've been.
It's a good stadium to go to.
Beautiful stadium.
It's really cool.
So we're driving up there. We're about 20 minutes out, and I'm like, "Hey, take my phone, buy the tickets. It's on me."
Right.
He's like, "Oh, they're." I'm like, "Get the most expensive tickets." He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's the most expensive ticket they got? They're like, first base side, no, third base side, second row, $89.
Really?
Per ticket.
Wow.
I was like, run it.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to be right behind the dugout.
Yeah.
So we get there early and we parked on the side, and then we went to TGI Fridays.
Okay.
So I took them out, get your food.
Yeah.
Good food.
Yeah.
I like TGI Fridays.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's good. Whatever, once in a while.
The endless appetizer for $10.
Well, I did the Jack Daniels steak. You know me, Jack Daniels all day.
There you go.
That's right. And then we were sitting back there, and phenomenal seats. Just phenomenal seats. Now, they do a thing called the sausage race.
Uh-huh.
Aha. Aha.
I forgot about the sausage race.
So me being the Mexican guy that I am, I was cheering for the chorizo to win. And I want to get that shirt, man. That says chorizo on it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want from Wisconsin is that one shirt.
Just a shirt and a chorizo.
Well, I can provide the chorizo.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, are you going sausage? Or you going pepperoni?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going sausage if I'm going one versus the other, just because, like I said,
it's flavorful.
It's this again, sausage, green pepper, mushroom, onion. That's the pizza. We got a place out here. It's called Muggs, and they do a 4-way pizza that we've had a few times, and we do like Super Bowl and stuff like that.
4-way pizza, guys. 4-way pizza, not anything else.
Yeah, and it's basically the whole thing is sausage. You get 1/4 pepperoni, 1/4 mushroom, 1/4 green pepper, and 1/4 onion. So you kind of get a little bit of everything if you like that. But yeah, I mean, to me that's the go-to. I mean, it almost reminds me of like a sandwich, like an Italian beef sandwich or something like that.
Yeah.
With Italian sausage. So I'm with it. That's how I go.
Any other pizza places you like to frequent that are like little gems and stuff?
I mean, like I said, just my place right here, Muggs, is close to the house. I feel like where I'm at, you have a couple places that have good pizza, but the wings you want to get from a different joint. So when we do the whole parties and we get the crew together, we're actually ordering different things from different places. So We got, what's it called over here? Sneakers got really good wings over here. So we
yes,
went
they
over
do.
there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was
We need to go
it's
back.
legit. Yeah.
We need to go back.
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place.
Now, a pizza place that maybe some people don't know, maybe in the loop, it's called Flo and Santos.
Okay.
So, I mean, the guy, I think he has like some Polish heritage. So there's like different types of pizzas, like a pierogi pizza. There's like, like different flavored pizza. These Italian beef pizza. So I'm gonna pull this. I don't want to turn this on, mess up my whole thing. But look at this pizza right here, man.
Oh wow.
It changed, but there was pepperoni, there was green peppers, there was onions on there.
Yeah.
So I get it with grilled onions.
So
I get sausage with grilled onions and green peppers, and I get it well done.
That's different. We used to go to a place called L's Pizza. L's Pizza off of, I want to say, like Narragansett and Irving. And we used to get it over there. It was super thin crust. That's what we get. It was the extra crispy crust. And that was when we were closer to the area, that was good. But, I mean, look, every place, everyone's going to have their favorite based on their nostalgia.
Yeah. It was just like the hot dog thing we talked about.
Dogs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think the difference between being hot dogs and pizza, like there is definitely a distinct difference in the thickness of the crust, how much cheese they use, how sweet is the sauce,
the
pepperonis, you know what I mean? Like, how do they chop up their veggies?
Yes.
All that stuff makes a difference. So, either way, I think it's time to go get some pizza, man. That's where I'm at right there. But before we go get our pizza,
yes, sir,
you got to tell me, what you looking at? What have you been watching that isn't sports?
So I watched, actually, I started watching it on Friday and finished it this morning, was the Army of the Dead.
Okay.
With Dave Bautista, and Zack Snyder as the helm of the camera there. It was good visually, very visually eye appealing movie. I'm not a big zombie guy, but I am. But I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
But like the zombies were legit.
Yeah.
Like you didn't. I mean, the makeup was great. The CGI was great. Obviously, when you got to kill a zombie, you got to put two in the head. Mm-hmm. Obviously, come on. Double tap, right? The story was meh.
Yeah. There's not. Hold on. Any movie like that. This is the remake of the old movie with what's his name?
Yes,
Bruce. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. And
everybody knows that infamous poster.
All right. And I mean, it's not a lot of story in these movies, but I am a zombie guy. I actually enjoy zombies. I enjoy like
Walking Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Walking Dead got stale for me. I'm sorry.
I thought it was. So did I. I watched one season. I'm like, it's the same thing over and over and over.
Here's the thing. I read the books. I read most of the books. I watched the comics. I watched the show. But I'm kind of like, I like zombies in general as like a monster. To me, it's probably the scariest type of monster because to me, it's the only one that's actually a viable thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Like a vampire is one guy and he's got teeth and scary teeth.
Here's some garlic.
Zombies, it's not just like, one monster. It's like a million of these guys like coming after you. And it seems like, it's almost like when you see infection, we're looking at COVID, like the COVID zombies. So that's what I'm saying is like the zombies always been scary to me because it's like the only thing that I could actually see being a feasible thing.
What's a good zombie movie besides this one?
Here, Shaun of the Dead is hilarious. That's
cool yeah, that's a really fun
one. You know what I mean? Like that, yeah.
I mean, action-wise. Because I still have not seen World War Z.
I don't think, you know what, I've actually played the video game. I don't think I've actually watched that movie all the way through, but I mean,
the Brad Pitt movie, right?
Yeah, like the old school Dawn of the Dead, like Night of the Living Dead. Like you can't, some of these old classic like black and white ones are actually creepier because you're like, you guys saw this coming at the time. You know what I mean?
There's no CGI. These guys are coming at you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a different feel. Even like Left 4 Dead. I love playing Left 4 Dead. World War Z video game. It's kind of the same concept.
Gotcha. Back in the day when the PlayStation came out, what was that? Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. That's another.
That was creepy because I had surround sound and you're like, you hear mom comes behind you, like, whoa.
Yeah, Resident Evil. I mean, even like I Am Legend. There was like that.
Yes.
That feeds more into like, this is a thing that could actually happen to people.
Most definitely.
I will tell you, next time you go to see a movie, is a zombie movie, sit all the way in the back row.
Okay.
And just look at all the people in front of you. And imagine them all turn to zombies and turn around at the same time.
Well,
that'll really freak you out.
Well, this is why I walk around with some stuff on me just in case.
Just in case, like 50 people turn into zombies all of a sudden in front of you.
Some people carry around some extra Pringles. I carry a different kind of clip. That's something to say.
All right, man. So I actually been watching a couple of different shows. One of them, they're both actually in the second season. Number one is Love, Death, Robots. Basically, this is all animated, and it's it's kind of a different. Do you remember Animatrix?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Similar concept where you have the episodes. They're not consequential. They're all just their own separate stories. But it's kind of like if you introduce robots into our world, what would they do? This is how they interact. So it's always interesting. It's very post-apocalyptic, and it's just a cool visual thing. And it's just, it doesn't matter what kind of genre you're into. You pick that up, you're like, oh, okay, that's either weirds you out or it's really interesting. The other show that I was watching was a show called Special, and it is an actor who has cerebral palsy, and he happens to be gay. And it's basically his navigation through life, living with his mother, trying to become independent with cerebral palsy, how he makes his way in the world as a disabled man who is also gay.
Wow.
If you're homophobic, don't watch it because it's not for you. I'm just telling you right now. But you know what I mean? Like, it's super cool. And the guy wrote the whole series himself.
Wow.
He got 2 seasons. He got to finish it out the way he wanted to. So season 2 is out on Netflix now. It was really, really interesting for me.
Actually, The Shy just came out.
Okay.
Last Friday, this past Friday was the first episode of season 4.
Oh, wow.
It's been pretty good. Also, again, I love to support my Chicago stuff and my Chicago shows.
Right.
It's one of those shows you're like, this is a lot of stuff. Is like, I used to work on the West Side, teaching on the West Side. So like where they filmed the restaurant, it's literally 5 minutes away from where I used to teach. So it's like, it kind of hits close to home because like a lot of these stories would be stuff that'd be happening to my students or to their families and stuff like that. So very relatable show, really good show. If you can, get on Showtime and watch it. Or if you have a Fire Stick, do what you do.
Welcome to the internet.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's get out of here, brother.
All right, y'all.
Time to get some food.
Yeah, that's right. It's time to go get that pizza. That's
Yes,
what
sir.
it is. All right, y'all. That is it for today. Thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at the checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That's TrueFan15. Go get your shirts now.
That's right. Once you get your shirt, take a picture, send it to us, and we'll put you on the site.
Absolutely.
I'll put you on my personal site. I'll put you on the TCS site. Put you on the 606 Media site. Hey, I'll do it all, man.
Do it. Hey, we'll give you props. I mean, we appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure to bring you the content.
Before you keep going, don't we have something coming up in a couple weeks?
We do. We have our 1-year anniversary event for the podcast. It's going to be at District Chicago. June 13th is the date, 6 to 11 p.m. You can actually go right now to the Eventbrite page, get your tickets. They're $20 each. And it includes a free drink ticket.
That's right. We want you to drink with us, cheer with us this 1-year anniversary. Come and join with us, please, please, please. It's in Wicker Park. The venue. Me and E went to go scout some venues.
Right.
And this venue caught our eye because E grew up literally a block away from this place.
Exactly.
I grew up a couple of blocks south of it, but I grew up in Wicker Park.
Right.
You know, in that area. And we have the entire basement to ourselves. I mean,
correct.
What kind of other, I mean, if anything epitomizes Wicker Park, it's going to be a party in the basement.
Right. Yeah, I mean, District is the old Crocodile. If you guys remember that from back in the day, we used to have old reggae parties down there. And it's a super cool place. 1540 North Milwaukee, Sunday, June 13th. $20 includes that free drink ticket. We'll be there from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. We got our boy DJ J Funk from the Chicago Bulls, the Chicago White Sox, Blackhawks, and the Chicago Bears. We had him on a few weeks ago, so you can check out that interview. So he will be there. We got DJ Flymax, and we also have DJ Technique, who I am personal friends with, a buddy of mine for a long time.
No way. Name dropping?
Just a little bit.
No way.
He's doing the Chicago Boat Party. parties. He's been a DJ downtown for a long time, so he should be there later on tonight. We're brought to you by 606 Media, Grit Clothing Company, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, Shine Native, Norris Caesar, Beer Pong Chicago, All Net, Blaze Football, and Anchor. So come out, support. We're going to have some raffles going on with some baskets from a few different companies.
That's right.
And it should be a blast. Come out and celebrate with your boys. District 1540 North Milwaukee, June 13th. Go to Eventbrite and get your ticket now. You can find the QR code on our page.
Yeah.
Blow it up right there.
There's limited tickets. I mean, you've got to get them early.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't fit that many people in the basement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like coming to the studio over here where we record. Limited capacity.
Right.
So get your tickets early so that way you get in.
Yeah, and we should be right then on the outside of our COVID restrictions. So
yeah, so that we relax. So don't worry about that. We got you. We got you.
We should be cool.
Wink, wink.
Hey, don't forget about our new friends at ACSI.tech. Check them out. Go get you a job. Check out the career section to start a brand new, exciting career in the communications industry. ACSI.tech. Huge thank you to our guest today. Back for the second time, Nicholi Wozniak. It was so great to catch up with him. Our very first guest ever. It was great to see what he's up to, man.
Yeah, the dude is family now at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure we can go by his house in Tennessee and just knock his door. We'll be okay.
What's up? Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, shout out to Mike Logic and Ideal. New episodes of the AllNet podcast available every other Monday. Check them out right now. We got NBA playoffs going on, so Mike Logic and Ideal break that down for you. Best analysis of the playoffs. And don't forget to check out the Shine Native Radio podcast, which is now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, Throw MC, and Words talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill spit. Yeah, I said it. Go check them out right now. Shout out to Ronesh and shout out to Panic for the beats we played on today's shows. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your Molman merch and gear. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Chi Fans on Twitter. That's at True CHI Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and reach out to us on our email because we want to hear from you. Stirring the pot, your movie recommendations, your show recommendations. Come at us. What you got?
Yeah, come challenge us.
That's right.
We like to be challenged.
That is true. That is true. Give us something to yell about on the show.
Hey, we had a lot to yell about on this show. Jeez.
Yeah, hit us onto that Facebook Messenger, IG Messenger, whatever you want. You can also reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all. For Big Z, this is E-Roc. We will see you next week for episode 47. Until then, be good to each other.
For love of sports.
Yeah.
Chorizo.
Sausage fest.
We both had sausage on the mind.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. That's all. I shouldn't have had those artichoke poppers.